So yeah, I actually fought Danny on my last bout. Tough guy, definitely.
Well, a difficult defeat against Matt McCarthy for the Southern Area Super Welterweight title in October. Milch said he felt a little flat from the off that evening, didn't box to a set game plan, and by his own admittance, the better man won on the night. So he's made a few changes since then. New trainer Josh Burnham, who had to sadly quit his own pro career prematurely, and has taken charge of Tony Milch in what he says will be a revamped and more polished version of the fighter that we've seen over the last 12 months. Really interesting to see how Tony Milch gets on this evening.
That's it. Well, let's see what adjustments he's made and how they work.
This is a super welterweight contest of 6 of the rounds. Introducing in the red corner, wearing the black shorts, weighing today at 11 stone, 1 pound and 10 ounces. In his 48th professional contest, from Sheffield, Danny Little. And his opponent across the ring in the red corner, wearing the blue and white shorts, weighing today at 11 stone, with a record of 13 victories and just 1 defeat. A former Southern Area title challenger from Bishop, Tony This is a super welterweight contest of 6 of preliminary rounds.
So two men, Conrad, that you've seen a number of times. One you've watched box for a year or so, and another that you've shared the ring with. Tell us a little bit about Danny Little, what challenges you faced with him.
I mean, Danny is a very game fighter. So the key for Tony would be just to keep him long, keep the jabs coming, sharp right hands, and like they said, they've been working on. It's all about the spite, just to make Danny realise that he can't just walk into anything.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Just Josh Burnham saying wanted to add a little bit more dynamism in his work, a little more lateral movement, and as you say, just a little bit more spite in those punches, sit down on the shots a bit more. He's got 6 rounds to show what it is he has been working on, Milch. And nice, compact, technical boxer, did the basics well. But as you say, everyone who's sparred with him has testified to the power and the weight behind his shots. Just not quite able, hasn't quite been able to show that in the numbers in his pro career thus far.
Again, it's also, sometimes with these guys, when you're fighting these back foot fighters, it's difficult to really meet them with any power because they're always running away, kind of thing. But I think Danny here isn't one of these guys. He stays, he stays with you. So it's a good chance for Tony to show the power.
A nice stiff jab to the body from Milch. He's considerably the taller of the two men. He's got a good reach as well at this weight.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think he's one of the big guys at this weight, isn't he?
Difficult times for Josh Burnham since last year. Been boxing since the age of 12, and he looked primed for a successful pro career in his own right. And the brain scan unfortunately revealed the danger he was in if he even took so much as one more punch to the head, and he received that news on the eve of his scheduled 3rd pro contest and has had to hang up the gloves. Still does a bit of body sparring with Milch, and he says now it's just been a case of living his ambitions vicariously through.
That's it. So,
the
you know,
fighters
it's
that he's
obviously
working
a
with.
shame when that happens to fighters, but better safe than sorry kind of thing, you know? Nice jab from Tony. And just moved out of range as Danny tried to fight back.
So first round down under his new coach, Josh Burnham, and another trainer, Dal Spalter, in the corner. How did you see that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, Tony's come out confident. He's throwing his jab. He's throwing his right hand. To be honest, though, I don't know if I see much change in him. We'll see as the fight continues on, I think. It's obviously his first comeback fight, so he needs to kind of, you know, get into the fight, relax, and start letting his shots go.
Well, Burnham was a bit more of a come-forward fighter. Milch more of a boxer. I don't think Burnham wanted to change too much in Milch's game too soon either, so perhaps it's a case of small adjustments over a longer period of time.
Yeah, most definitely you can't, especially, you know, someone that's a bit more experienced and been around boxing for longer, you can't just tell them, you know, how to suck an egg all over again.
Absolutely, those habits are pretty ingrained, aren't they? Like Tony Milch is the stage of his career that he's in.
I think Tony can get away with just standing there with him and catching those shots and countering rather than kind of needing to run away or move away after every shot.
So Danny Little, tough guy, you said, but what about kind of punch power? What sort of artillery is he packing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if he catches you with a clean shot, you'll definitely feel it. But I think Tony is definitely big enough to be able to take those shots, especially if he's careful and catches them on the gloves. It shouldn't trouble him too much.
Just tripling up that jab as Little tries to cut the ring off. Again,
Nice right hand to the stomach there. I mean, nice jab, sorry.
he's just trying to maybe slow him down a little. And he's got 6 rounds, and, well, more work he gets into the body now, perhaps the more opportunity he'll have a little later on.
Little coming forward.
There's nice work to the body there, little left hook just underneath the elbows. It's pretty cool and composed from Milch so far.
That's right, the single shots are landing nice. Would be good to see him do some combination punching as well, though.
Sat down momentarily on a 1-2, which came off the gloves of Little. Just signs that Milch is starting to find his feet a tad in there. Little again hunting down, right hook to the body, then right hand over the top.
That's it. I think I could see in Milch's expression there that, you know, he caught those shots on the gloves and he can sense Danny's power now, and I think he'll be comfortable. There we go. That was a nice, sharp, powerful right.
Matt McCarthy was just a little sharper on the night when they met for that title, wasn't he? Just perhaps half a level above Milch. It was Milch who said he felt a little flat that evening, but perhaps just...
Yeah, no, Matt was letting go, you know, quick, sharp shots, and ultimately that, you know, caught Tony, and then you know, he just couldn't recover from there. I don't think that will happen here, but you've always got to be careful.
You just wonder how much that can weigh on your mind. You've been caught yourself, and what is it like when that's happened to you?
I mean, when I got hit with on the counter, and I kind of dropped, you don't kind of even believe that it happened. All kinds of mad thoughts are going through your head. Wow, did this just happen? Is he going to knock me out? And then you kind of remember, no, you know, I'm here in the York Hall. all my friends and family are here. I'm not going to let this happen. And then you kind of grit your teeth and fight through it. You know, when it happened to me, it wasn't a guy of Matt's caliber, so maybe I was lucky there. But I think, you know, we've all got fighting in our blood, and we all want to kind of see it through to the end. So, yes, it's not a nice thing to happen anyway.
Well, we saw the up-and-coming welterweight prospect Conor Benn in an absolute barnstormer in this very ring.
Yeah.
Just about 10 weeks ago against, well, really what was on paper a French journeyman in Cedric Payno, and my goodness, he was down twice in the first.
They were both down twice, right?
They were both down twice, but Ben was down twice in the first round, and it was just all-out war in front of a packed crowd.
You can never write these journeymen off. You can never write them off.
Sometimes there's maybe the presumption incorrectly that they come to just earn a payday and go home, but you do encounter some tough guys along the road. They don't do this for a living for no reason.
You know, if you run into a guy as well who's had 50 fights, this guy, even if they're not all wins, he can box. So you need to be careful, definitely.
So far, it's been a cautionary approach from Tony Milch, who's warming into this third round. Danny Little comes forward, a couple of shots digging into the body.
Yeah, he's definitely being very careful. And Little is coming forward, and he's definitely very game. Just caught Milch with a lead left hand. Good body shot from Tony.
And his corner man, Josh Burnham, just telling him to keep working, keep working. Wants to perhaps up his work rate a tiny bit, just try and put some pressure on Little, see what he's made of.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just to pump out the jab a bit more, it would be good to see Tony do a bit more work.
I think he's just kind of just letting Little into the contest more than
it needs to be, really.
Absolutely, more than he needs to be is the perfect way of putting it. And I think Little there, just a nice little counter 1-2. Just switch to southpaw occasionally, just making him awkward. Did he do that against you? Can you remember?
I think when we fought, we both ended up quite square sometimes, and it was a bit of a slugfest at times. But again, that's a bit more of my style. I kind of like to fight with people. It's all about Mexican boxing. Oh, nice looping overhand there from Little. Tony took it well.
Milch just slightly lost his way in this round, just the rhythm not quite there. He just missed a couple of times with that jab, allowed Little space and time to think about his offense. Not Milch's best round, that one.
Yeah, no, I think he got caught a little bit off guard there. But he's going to be thinking about that now in the corner, and hopefully comes out with a renewed vigor, as they say. I think Tony's corner looking quite animated. They also want him to just work a bit more and, again, show a bit more of that spite.
So with a minute's respite for Tony Milch and Danny Little, let's see what adjustments Milch can make. He doesn't look particularly different to what we've seen before. I think you're right in saying that. What more would you like to see from him?
I think he seems to be waiting a little bit too much. If he just, you know, as you're kind of circling around, you're thinking about what to do. You've always got to just pump out those jabs, keep your opponent guessing. Yeah, and just let go of the combinations. Maybe, you know, maybe pitter-patter at first, and then just every now and again one big shot. And that would definitely slow Danny down.
Well, this is better from him.
Yeah, no, much better.
Just a little more active. But all the time he waits, as you say, it's Little that then decides to take charge and push Milch back to the ropes. Every time Milch takes the imperative, he's winning the exchanges, but he's got to be careful here, Milch. Little just showing signs of working his way back into this one.
Yeah, I think Tony doesn't need to move back as much as he is. He's definitely the stronger guy in there, but he's not, you know, he's not showing that at this stage. Nice double jab right hand from Tony that landed. And then again, Danny Little hits Tony on the switch with a left hand. There we go, that was a nice combination from Tony.
But again, just a little fewer and further between than I think his corner would like. And it's Little who seems to be instigating most of these exchanges.
Yeah, no, Danny is definitely working hard, throwing lots of punches and forcing the action.
The blood from the nose of Milch as well. Wry smile as the overhand right just clipped the top of his head. Double jabs in return. Milch just circled away from danger, back to centre ring, but when he does, he's got to take the imperative, as you say. That's better from him.
Slightly better round from Tony, but yeah, he just needs more little glimpses of like throwing punches in bunches and doing the right thing, but we just need more of that.
Yeah, it's not been the clinical performance from him, I think, that, well, certainly he would have hoped for. Always difficult, you've got a variety of opponents to look good against, and Danny Little, as you know, is a tough man. Come forward fighter, but
also you know, it's difficult to implement new game plans this late in your career, and as soon as, you know, it's just natural, as soon as things get a little bit difficult, you kind of revert back to your old style. So he just needs to keep that in his mind and yeah, and just throw more punches.
Second down, round 5.
Well, he's looking at hopefully one more after this should he get the win, and then an eliminator for a belt of some description, whether that be a rematch with McCarthy or whether he look elsewhere.
Will McCarthy stay there? Will he try and move on?
By
We'll
that
see,
point,
I guess.
By that point, perhaps he will, and it may be that Milch boxes for the vacant title. Who knows? Anything can change, and things can change really, really quickly in this business.
Of course,
he will, of course, want to, you know, get past this, sort of debrief, see what went well and what didn't work quite so well, make some more adjustments under his new trainer.
Danny's switching to southpaw again. That is definitely adding more difficulty into the mix. You just have to remember, as soon as he goes southpaw, he needs to fire that right hand off. He caught him with the right hand. Tony caught him with the right hand.
Little just applying a bit of pressure. Trying to find some new angles, moving laterally to his left-hand side and making Milch miss. But it would be nice for Tony Welch, as you say, someone that's in the kind of twilight of their career now, to pick up a belt of some description, whether it be another crack at the Southern Area title and ultimately a win. Would be a nice way to cap things off for him.
Definitely. Being a little bit older myself, I don't know, you know, how many fights obviously one has left at this age. But yeah, that's obviously a nice end to anything.
Little again, marauding forwards, making things uncomfortable for Milch. Clubs in left hand to the body. Did that shot hurt him there? Just a little look of concern from his corner momentarily. The legs of Milch just gone a little stiff, and as Danny Little just sensed that maybe, Milch just flurries away to the body. There's not a lot behind them. Josh Burnham looks concerned in the corner.
See there, Danny needs to just create a little bit of space there again.
I think the legs of Milch have gone, you know, because he was holding on tight. He's got them underneath him, but he's trying to swing to...
this would not be a good ending for Tony if he...
He's come back well, just got his feet perhaps underneath him. Little knows that he hurt him though. And I don't think it was obvious enough for many of the crowd to pick up, but ringside we're a little closer to the action, you see, and you could just see as that shot landed, the legs just momentarily buckled. And just the look on the face of Milch as if to suggest he'd been hurt. He clung on tight. And you can see the reaction from Burnham in the corner as well. Told you everything that you needed to know.
He seems to have got them back under him though.
A wry smile from him at the end of round number 5, and well, he just very, very calmly and carefully weathered a mini crisis there, and I think that probably almost slipped under the radar of most of the people here at York Hall, but certainly didn't pass us by here, Conrad.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the judges saw that as well. Obviously, they're the people that are making the decision. It just shows you the fitness of some of these guys. Little not sat down for the whole fight so far. Tony really needs to come out sharp and aggressive now.
Well, would it be really interesting to have heard the conversations in the respective corners in between rounds 5 and 6, because Tony Milch in not huge amounts of trouble, but enough for it to be a problem. And Danny Little would have known that too, and maybe he'll just sense that he has an opportunity to cause an upset at York Hall.
I think the thing that's really been throwing Tony is the switch hitting. He seems to be kind of all right with Little when he's on orthodox. As soon as he steps round to southpaw, he's catching Tony with more shots.
Milch trying to pump out that jab. Right hand behind it that time. Got to keep Little long and try and keep out of trouble.
That's it, he needs to keep doing it. Relentlessly pump it out.
Just being dragged into a bit of a war though, and Danny Little will fancy that. Starts to just pump those shots through the guard.
That was nice from Tony though, little combination. 4 hooks.
Just doubles up with that right hand over the top. Milch just momentarily complains to the referee. Gets a brief respite, but they're back to it.
This is where Tony needs to be pumping out that jab. He seems to be letting Danny Little get a bit too close, really.
And there was a sharp uppercut landed on the inside as a result, and just momentarily stunned Milch. And Josh Burnham in the corner shouting on at his man. Milch comes clubbing forward with a kind of jab come left hook.
That caught Danny Little as well off guard, so it was a nice little kind of feint.
But Little with a bit between his teeth.
Seems to be waiting too long.
Little just digging away.
He's definitely a game fighter.
Little comes forward with a combination. Nice right hand from Milch though. And this one is all out war towards the end of round number 6.
This is the kind of fire we want to see from Milch.
Grandstand finish at your call. As Milch going toe to toe with Danny Little.
Very exciting to watch, although Tony probably doesn't need to be letting Danny get that close.
Certainly not the kind of performance that Milch rather would have wanted. Oh, and just crashing overhand right from Little. Gets through there. Smaller man walking forwards. What a contest it was.
Definitely. Tough fight.
Classic your call contest. You said that Little was going to be a difficult opponent in there. My goodness, wasn't he just?
Very game, very tough. You know, he can take the shots, he can switch hit, he comes forward. You know, it's a tough fight for anyone.
Tough fight for anybody, tough fight for Tony Milch specifically tonight. And well, if he gets past this, it won't be without a few bumps and bruises in the morning, and he's going to have to look carefully at his performance this evening.
Yeah, there's definitely things they can take back to the drawing board and continue to work on, because obviously it's only going to get tougher from here on out. So they're collating the scorecards, and our Master of Ceremonies beckons the boxers forwards for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action, the contest is scored 58 points to 56 points. Your winner from Driffield, Danny Little.
Well, the upset has occurred. It was a tough contest. And
Yeah,
I think Milch...
I couldn't have called it, to be fair. I couldn't have called it.
Well, Milch, we knew it was going to be close. And I think actually, you can't argue too much with it. He was pressing the action Little, landed some really clean shots. And well, it's respectful from Milch, but he will be absolutely gutted with that result, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, most definitely. But again, I think he was just waiting too long.
He's training
too much waiting.
Josh Burnham looks really disappointed in the corner. I think gutted for his man. He thought it was close, but I think from the look on his face, he thought that Milch had it. I think Milch thought he had it too, but well, actually, I think perhaps on second watch, certainly a case that very, very close contest, and I think the work that Danny Little did, enough to see him through, and he has caused the upset victory here at your call.
Danny, 48th fight, your 7th win. How was that?
I was surprised. I thought I was nicking every round because he wasn't working very hard. I was working a lot harder than him, but I didn't think I'd get it because, you know, unless you stop him normally, it don't happen. But I was very happy with it because I did work hard. I felt a bit dead in there the first couple of rounds, but Pete kept telling me to get on with it, and it worked. So I'm happy.
You stopped Jordan Clayton in your last fight.
Yeah.
You went for it in there. You fancy a good run of form this year?
I just, like I said to my trainer Pete, I'm not ever going in there to knock someone out or to win the fight. I'm going in there to do my job. And but if they let me have it, and if the person isn't good enough or he isn't trying, I'll take it to him. If he wants to bring it to me and it's hard, I'll take it to him and see what happens. But I train every day, so I'm always ready to fight.
It was a hugely entertaining fight, and certainly in the last round where Tony put his foot down a little bit, and when you two went for one another, it was incredibly exciting.
Oh, good, that's good. Yeah. If he'd have done that from the first round, it might have been different, but the opportunities were there for me to take them, so I took them.
So it's just take each fight as it comes. Is that your motto?
Yeah, each fight as it comes. I never go in there looking to knock someone out or beat them or anything. I just train very hard. Me and Pete train very hard every day. So I can take fights on short notice and get in there and do my job.
This is your coach Pete here.
Trainer Pete, yeah.
Trainer Pete, you happy with that?
I'm very happy with that. He went in then, used the jab, did what we asked him to do, did what we do in training, and that's what matters. We get the win when he works like that.
Good little run of form now. Congratulations on that win. Go and enjoy it, Danny. Pete, thank you very much.